You ready? Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
For those who understand that, just have a peaceful Sabbath. Shabbat is Sabbath in Hebrew. Shalom or Shalom is peace. So, peaceful Sabbath. I pray you all have a peaceful Sabbath. Ayan Dabar. You're welcome in Hebrew. As always, it's a joy to see y'all's face. It's been a long journey. I'll tell you about the trip after the class, since my sister's so eager to listen to it. I got a lot to say. But today, and thank you, brother, for opening up in prayer, because actually your prayer is really in harmony with what the lesson is today. Last week we talked about being a light in the hour of darkness, right? We know the hour of darkness is the time that the Most High has given the fallen ones to rule. So this is their hour. That's why so much confusion going in the world. It's the hour. And so we're not to marvel at the things that's going on in the world, because it's written so. Like a lot of us, we get distracted by so much stuff, this activity, this going on, this going on. It's the hour of darkness. The hour of darkness for these fallen ones to keep everybody in the dark, alienated from the Most High. So the title of this lesson is "The Fallen Angels Are the Root of Iniquity, Strife, etc." Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go into our extra records. We're going to read out of the book of Enoch. We're also going to read out of the book of Adam and Eve. And for those out there in the audience who don't understand about these records, the Most High promised, he prophesied that in the last days knowledge would increase and the earth would help the woman, right? The book of Adam and Eve, Enoch, all those were found within the Dead Sea Scrolls when they found them in the primal caves. Okay? So our foreparents is reading out of the book of Adam and Eve. It comes from our mother and our father, right? So every family has had a testimony throughout generations. Thinking not so that Enoch could have a testimony if Adam wouldn't have one. How does Moses have a testimony? Jeremiah, all these prophets have testimonies. Most High made so that they wrote them down for us as an example. Things we can learn from, to warn us, right? And to prepare us. So, like last week, the first scripture was Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. We're going to get it again. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. The fallen angels are the root of iniquity, which is sin. So they're the root of it. Strife, etc. Because everything wicked, it starts with them. It didn't start with man. It started first in heaven. Rebellion, sin started first in heaven. Calm when everyone is there.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So the Bible clearly states who our fight is against. It's not against flesh and blood, as we covered last week, right? We have to really analyze that, because there's so much strife that's going on today, right? It's a spiritual warfare. The lesson today is we're gonna read a testimony of Satan himself. We want to let the wickedness of the wicked speak today, so we can see and hear the words of our adversary, right? We must understand our adversary to be able to fight him. Mm-hmm. To understand why we're fighting against him and his angels. Because it's their spirits that rule this earth. And we was talking prior to this class, my mom was saying something about when you go on YouTube, there's so many videos with people who are aware that they're Israel. Why do you think that's so? Right? The Most High promised that he would send his spirit and revive his people in the last days. So with that work being done, Satan is trying to counter it. Right? So knowledge of who you are, again, is not the doctrine of Christ. There's a doctrine in the Bible in this crisis. This is Yahshua's doctrine. And even with that being said, even Yahshua said it's not his doctrine, it's the Most High, the highest. There's many people today fighting over the name of God, that's fighting over these doctrines. There's only one truth. There's only one truth. There's one God. There's one true living God. There's many gods, but there's only one true living God. He has a doctrine. He has fundamental teachings for his children. He has a culture, a way of life for his children. Right? And many people who have other doctrines, it's deeper than just following the laws. Because Christ brought mercy and truth and spirit to the law. Right? It's like what Yahshua did is, for an example, let's say that my grandmother, right? She's passed away now. Okay? Let's say that she wrote a testimony about her life, about her family, the things she desired, of her seeds, right? I said that wrong. Let's say my grandfather, because my grandmother don't have any seeds, okay? My grandfather, he did what I just said, right? He gave a testimony about his family and about his seeds and how he desired them to live, how he commanded them to live. So, after his death, you will only have this testimony. And many people will read this testimony and come up with their own interpretations of this testimony. That's similar to there's many false religions, right? But if I was with my grandfather, I would be able to read the testimony, or not even read the testimony, but I would have known my grandfather. So I would be able to explain what my grandfather was saying, because I know my grandfather. Well, that's what Yahshua did when he was on earth. We had the law, but Yahshua was able to explain his father, because he's a representative. He knew his father. That's why he always told those Pharisees, you know not the Father. He's not your father. You are from the devil. Because you do the works of the devil. You desire to kill me. You don't know my Father. Even though you have his law, you don't know him. And our whole premise of life is to get to know our Father. Get to know him and be obedient to him, to love him, to be obedient to him. So who would cause all this confusion? An adversary, right? Someone who hates our Father. Someone who hates all that he created. His only desire would be to destroy what God created. So, the Bible says we are not to faint in the midst of all this confusion. Faint means tire out and give up. It says we are to seek the truth as hidden silver. Right? Again, gold is on the surface, so it's deeper in this reading the Bible on your own, or going to church, or going here. If you go to church, for those in the audience, if you go to church, your obligation is to read this Bible and then question your pastor. Why are we doing this? The Bible said this. That's your obligation. Your soul depends on it. The Most High giving you understanding, not to be a blind follower of a blind guide. Yahshua says, the blind lead the blind. So if the blind lead the blind, they both fall into a ditch. And that ditch is hell. So if you continue to be a blind follower, you deserve what you got coming. Our obligation is to diligently seek the Most High. That means dig down deep. If this person don't have it, leave that individual or that organization. You keep seeking until the day you die. May the Most High bless your efforts. Right? Because he said, if you seek him diligently, you will find him. But when you find him, you better recognize that you found him. So the Most High always give us the bad first and then the good. right? We all started in these churches. He gave us the bad first so we can recognize the good and compare the two, and there's no comparison. Like once you understand the doctrine of Christ, there's not an organization in the world that can go against the doctrine of Christ. Because you're doing one thing wrong, you're wrong. You can't say you follow the laws and commandments, but you don't keep the holy days of the Bible. That's the law. You can't say you follow the laws, but you don't respect, honor your big brother, your Lord and Savior Christ. How can you say that you follow the laws when the Bible says that even in your book of Moses, Moses said himself, there's one that come after me that you should listen to. So if you don't follow that one, which is Yasha, how you following the law? When he is the law. He's the total embodiment of the law. He's the true definition of it. When you see him, you see the truth of the law. You see what the Father meant by the law. You see how much the Father loved his children. I've been telling y'all for a long time, and it sounds good in my ears to hear brethren say that they're in the law and how much they recognize the Most High love them. Because read the law, you're like, man, he loves his children. The laws are for protection. Right? So because we have these laws of protection out of love, we have a law of hate. And that comes from Satan. He has a doctrine too. And it is totally contrary to the Most High. That's why the Bible says we fight not with flesh and blood, but the powers of gods. And they have a system set up, and we said last week, designed to keep us in the darkness, designed to keep us sinning, enemies of the Most High. So let's start from the beginning. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. This is the first attack on earth. The attack originally was in heaven, right? Satan rebelled, and his angels, the third of angels, rebelled with him. Now he's attacking those on earth. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Read.
And it reads, Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Most High God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Here's the enticement. Satan knows what the Most High told Adam and Eve. Satan is questioning her, right? Did the Most High really say that you can't eat from all that's in the garden? Eve said what?
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
So Eve knew better, right? So Satan, dealing with the weaker vessel, because he tried Adam, he couldn't get Adam. He dealt with the weaker vessel when she was apart from him. He planted an ideal in her heart, in her mind, right? So showing that this is open rebellion, right? Eve rebelled against the Most High for her own lusts, right? The things that Satan put in her mind developed a seed of lust, right? And let's get it.
Verse 4, And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
So now Satan is calling the Most High a liar. Remember the accuser of our brethren? The angel said about Satan? He's calling the Most High a liar, right? Say the Most High is holding something back. He's lying to you, Eve, right? Let's go.
For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof.
Check it out. Now, he's telling the truth and lying at the same time. He says, for the Most High know that in the day, right? That in that day, so Satan said, no, you're not going to die immediately. But in the Most High's day, you would die. Eve thinking that she's going to eat this thing and boop, croak. Satan knows better than that. He knows what a day is to the Most High. He knows what he got coming. So rebellion or sin against the Most High equals death. For the wages of sin pays is death. So he knows she's going to die. But Eve, you eat this tree, you're not going to die immediately, is what he's saying. He's holding back some truth from her. Right? Let's go.
Then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods.
So were their eyes closed? Were they already open? Because truthfully, if you already know the truth of this, our eyes are closed. Adam and Eve's eyes were different than ours. They saw what we can't see. And I think they call it today the fourth dimension or something they call it now. I'm right. Like how like a camera can see a spirit. Well, Adam used to be able to see the angels, right? He was able to see the angels and communicate with them. They was his helpers. Okay? But now their eyes are closed because of sin. But Satan is twisting and saying your eyes will be open. Right? Meaning that you have some different knowledge than what the Most High prepared for you. Okay? Let's go.
And ye shall be as gods.
So you be as the angels.
Knowing good and evil. And
See,
when
evil was not granted to the knowledge of evil was not granted to mankind. Okay? It was none of their business.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise.
See, Satan put this little potion on that thing. It's kind of like drugs today. You know, some drugs you can take, and it's so-called open your mind up, right? I know back in the day when I was a user of marijuana and those kind of things, I can write some incredible papers. You know, it all starts like from the tree of knowledge and good. I mean, knowledge of good and evil. It's a desire to make one wise. So she's this extra knowledge, but all knowledge is not good, right? Just because it's knowledge don't mean it's good. And obviously, we're the living proof that this knowledge that they received was not good. It caused the death of us. Okay? Let's go.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So, within the book of Adam and Eve said when she approached her husband, Satan came out of her mouth. So the words that she spoke were not her words. Satan beguiled Adam, right? But let's see what the day is to the Most High. Because remember, Satan said, in that day, you possibly will not die. So let's see what the day is to the Most High. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. And we're going to also cover the misconception of the world. Because many people say, well, why is God tempting Adam and Eve with this fruit? Why are you tempting them with evil? Why would he plant some and then tell them that they can't partake of it? But we're going to see who actually planted that tree. Because remember, in the scriptures, all things the Most High made were good. Mm-hmm. He never made anything that was evil. And that's why it's important to respect our records. Not to listen to the Roman Catholic Church and tell us that our records are non-canonical. Because they are. Our fathers had all the records and gave them more knowledge. So therefore, we can't be deceived by Satan's lie and saying the same thing. But now we can accuse the father because why would you plant some intestines with this? But we're going to break down all the lies. Not all his so many lies. We can't break down the whole flood. But we're going to break down this lie though. Okay? So for those who out there who don't respect or acknowledge the book of Adam and Eve and the book of Enoch, the book of Baruch, hey, that's on you. We do. We're not here to prove nothing to you but the truth. And because our Father, our God told us to speak the truth, whether you hear or forbear. So I'm not here to debate about this book or that book. We believe in it. Because we're going to see how it's in harmony with the lesson. Okay? Let's get it.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, and verse 8. But,
go ahead.
But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Most High as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
And to show you how truthful the Most High word is, right? The Most High told Adam within that day he would die if he ate from the tree, right? Who was the oldest man to live on earth? Enoch's son, right? He was 969, right? No man has ever lived to be one day in the Most High's sight. See that? Within that day, you and all your children would die. You would never live to be a day, according to the Most High. So, see that subtlety that Satan used on you? Because I told you ate some right now, you thinking that I eat this, I'm going to croak. I'm going to give it the ghost right now. But he knew within that what a day was to the Most High. Right? So, now, let's get to third Baruch, chapter 4. For those who have a pseudo picker, it's page 535.
What is it called?
Third Baruch.
Third Baruch.
Yep.
Baruch was a scribe. Right? Pseudo picker first. Yeah, give it this. So you know what it is. 535. So Baruch is desirous to know about this tree, right? Who caused death in the earth. So he asked the angel to explain it to him, right? You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Start at
Con. And I said, the end
right here. We're gonna start where it says Baruch said.
Con.
It's the middle of verse 7, chapter 4. Let's get it.
The book of Third Baruch, chapter 4, verse 7. Baruch said, and how does this happen? And the angel said, hearken, the Most High God made 360 rivers, of which the chief of all are Alpheus, Abirus, and the Gericus.
Yeah, I did want to start, and I said,
Okay.
get it.
Con.
Sorry,
Got it. Salaki. Verse 8. And I said, I pray thee, show me which is the tree which led Adam astray. And the angel said to me, it is the vine which the angel...
So it's not an apple, right? It's a vine, okay? And there's wine that's come from this vine, right? And it's no coincidence why the Bible refers to the wine of Babylon, right? It's from the same spirit, right? The wine of Babylon is the lies, the hypocrisy, the blasphemies of Satan against the Most High, right? Which are the doctrines of all these religions that are opposed to the Most High. It's the wine of Babylon, it's the wine of Satan. It comes from this vine. Let's go.
It is the vine which the angel Samael planted, or at the Most High God was angry.
So you see, the Most High didn't plant this. This is why he was angry with Satan. Okay. So this is proof that the Most High did not plant this evil tree or this evil vine in the Garden of Eden, because his word is faithful and true. He says all things he made were good. So someone planted something else. Just like in the parable with Christ, right? When he planted, remember said the story of the tear and the wheat? Like, who planted this? Because we cultivated it and it was all good. Someone came and planted these tares with the wheat, right? He said that one was Satan. It was the devil, right? So let's get it. So Yasha is using an example that really happened to explain what's going on in the world, what's going on in these churches. The tares growing with the wheat, right? So go ahead.
And he cursed him and his plant.
Cursed him and his plant. Okay?
while also on this account he did not permit Adam to touch it. And therefore the devil, being envious, deceived him through his vine.
See, the devil being envious. And the devil gonna say so. He was envious of Adam. Okay? So he's envious because Satan wanted dominion. Adam was the first king of the earth, and all things were supposed to be in subjection to Adam. And the only way that Satan can take dominion was to take Adam down. That's why last week we read that the earth had been given to the hand of the wicked. Satan took Adam down, he took the king down. So now Satan rules. Right? So let's go. That's it? Okay. So just wanted to break that down real quick. Now let's go to James chapter 1. Because the Bible says that under the testimony of two or more witnesses, every matter is established. Now we see that the Most High did not tempt Adam with anything evil, right? Let's see what James got to say about this. James chapter 1, verse 13 through 16.
The book of James, chapter 1, and verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of a higher. For a higher cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
See that? See, that's in harmony with what we just read. Without that knowledge, you would be confused on what the Most High did. But now we know that the Most High did not plant that tree or that vine. So he did not tempt Adam. He said, because James said that no man can say he been tempted, because God does not tempt. Nor can God be tempted with evil, nor does he tempt man. But every man and woman are tempted based on their own lust. Right? So Satan has observed Adam and Eve. He tried Adam, but Eve had some in her that Satan brought out, right? He brought it out. And this is how it functions. This is how sin functions, y'all. Right? Let's get it.
Verse 15. Then when lust hath conceived.
See, lust has conceived. Right? So it says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust, of his own lust, and enticed. When you entice, you entrapped. Right? So now, the desires you have in your mind, right? Satan, so this applies to us today. And I was telling y'all, one of the beautiful things about the kingdom is that Satan would be done away with. We had no evil influences. Right? No one putting bad desires or filthy desires in our minds anymore. None of that. So we have desires. These so-called, a lot of people have dreams. He works on you in your sleep too. The things that we are enticed by are initiated by the same dragon, the same old serpent. So we don't have freedom of thought, but we have control of thought, but we don't have freedom. Like you can't block it out. You can only obey one voice or the other. Eve didn't block it out, right? So now that desire that Satan put into our heart has conceived, given birth to disobedience, to rebellion against the Most High. Okay? Let's get it.
Verse 15. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin.
See, that's the baby it brings. Sin. Right? To conceive, it takes two. Right? It takes two. If we say take two to tango. So it took Eve and Satan. Right? Now they're on the same page. Right? They conceived this thought. Right? Now, they gave birth to sin. And with that right there, sin has dominion in the world. That's why we die. Okay? And sin, when it is finished, so now it's complete, right? Brings forth death. And here's the warning. Do not err, my beloved brethren. They go for my sisters too. Do not err in your thought. Do not think it's of the Most High if it's contrary to His word, no matter how good it sounds. Remember, this appeared good to Eve, but it was contrary to the word of the Most High, the commandment of the Most High. That's why it's important, y'all, for us to become the book, to know our Father. If we know our Father, we know what He said, and we will do it. So when we hear something, it's a strange voice. Satan's voice must be strange to us, although we were so familiar with it all our lives. It must become irritating. Okay? Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. Showing you who that serpent really was.
The book of Revelations, chapter 12, and verse 9, and it reads, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent."
See, that old serpent, the one we just read about, who enticed our mother, who tricked our mother.
"Called the devil and Satan."
So that's who it was. Even though he used that vessel, the dragon, it was really Satan behind it. That's why that's why our first precept was, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. The dragon or the serpent did nothing to Eve. It was a spirit that was in the dragon. Proof that demons, wicked spirits, can be in animals too, not just people. All they need is living flesh and blood. Okay?
"Which deceiveth the whole world."
See, Satan deceiveth the whole world. Now we see why there's so much confusion that we talked about earlier. It's the same voice. The same voice who spread all the lies. He started with Eve on earth. And now you got many helpers. So they have deceived the whole world. Right? That's why we need to understand and come into the accurate knowledge of the Most High. Because the whole world obviously is not. The Bible is not lying. The whole world is deceived. He's done a marvelous work on people. First with angels, like we talked in the class last week. Marvel not at mankind. Because Satan deceived a third of the angels who were in the presence of the Most High. Like I said, mankind is lightweight, light work, right? That's why we need the help, the protection, as the brother prayed today, from the Most High. We're not strong enough, mentally nor physically, to defend ourselves against Satan and his wicked man. We need the Most High. We need Yahshua, his son, to protect us. And the only way they'll protect us is if we stay obedient. Okay?
Come.
Let's go.
"He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him."
So that's his army. He has a wicked army who is against mankind. Okay? Enoch, chapter 15 to 16. That's on page 198. Now, here's the second fall. There's two falls, right, that we know of. We read about the first one, where Satan and a third of the angels were cast out. They rebelled against the Most High, kicked them out. And here's another 200 angels that failed, right? These are the ones who were enticed with the flesh of women. And they came together with women and had giant children. All right? Here's the origin of wicked spirits. Okay? On earth, who were born in the earth. Let's get it.
The book of Enoch, chapter 15 and verse 1. And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Approach hither and hear my voice. And go, say to the watchers of heaven.
See, these 200 angels' job was to watch mankind. Report to the Most High. Right? But they failed.
Say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to intercede for them. You should intercede for men.
So these angels, right, had children with women. Recognized, well, they knew they willfully rebelled against the Most High, but they was hoping for repentance, right? So they sent Enoch to go pray to the Most High for forgiveness for them. Okay? Check this out.
You should intercede for men and not men for you.
See, this is twisted. You're supposed to be interceding for men. I sent you to watch men, to bring me their prayers, their supplications, their requests, not the other way around. Right now, it's the other way around. You got men coming to me for you. That's not what the Most High designed. That was not his purpose. Okay? Let's get it.
Wherefore have ye left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of the earth, and begotten giants as your sons? And though you were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh. And as the children of men have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, and begot children by them.
So let's stop there for a second, because there's many scriptures concerning women, right? The Bible says that women are not to teach. The Most High did not. Now, this is not a sexist statement, but it's a statement of order concerning what the Most High given us, right? For a righteous man who has a woman who's righteous, or for this man who desires to be righteous, woman who desires to be righteous, this is not for the world. The world does not live nor know the commandments of the Most High, nor follow his order. But Adam was supposed to teach his wife, not the other way around, right? So women are not permitted to teach men in this setting. A woman, for all those female pastors out there, read the Bible that you're teaching, because you're erring in the scriptures. You're not supposed to usurp the authority of a man. It's not your place. Okay? Most High has given men to be over women. That's why a man is supposed to be head of his house, head of his family. Right? So because men listen to his women, we die. Because all Adam had to do is reprimand his wife. Rebuke the spirit that was in her. Because the responsibility lied on his soul. Because Adam sinned, we die. Not because Eve sinned, we die because Adam sinned. Okay? What's going on today is the exact same thing. It's the opposite. These angels are sending a man to intercede to the Most High for them. Women are ruling men. Okay? But women place, now not saying that like my wife can't teach me anything. She taught me many things. Right? But she's not to pray over no man. especially not me. So women, you're not supposed to pray over men. A man is supposed to pray over you. Now, can a woman pray for a man? Can a woman pray for a husband? Yes, in your secret place. In silence. Like right now, my wife want to pray for me. She's welcome. She can pray all day long for me. But can't open her mouth up and utter words in prayer over me. That's not the order. Okay? Just wanted to touch on that. Right? So, and for you wives, right? If your husband err in the scriptures, you are not to listen to him. You have to be obedient to the Most High. For he is your God, not your husband. Okay? So, ultimately, we listen to the Most High. That's why that man is supposed to use the scriptures to correct or encourage his wife. Mm-hmm. Right? That's how it goes. So, women can save their life, save their soul, as the scripture says, in childbearing and in obedience to the Most High. That's the role He's giving you. And many women have a problem with that. Children are really the Most High blessing. It's Satan who has twisted it. The Most High brought that spirit here and put it into the vessel that was conceived in you. He brought you here to bring forth life. There's honor in that. Great honor to the Most High. But this system that Satan has designed, we shun it, we look down on it. We want independence from it. When it's glory to the Most High for a woman to bear children and raise them. It's part of how you save your soul. Because those children are the Most High's first. Okay.
Continuing verse 5. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, and begot children by them.
So was that me saying that, or the Most High? That's primarily, besides being a helpmeet to your husband, he brought you here. That's a glorious occasion. Satan, I'm telling you, Satan has twisted everything backwards. Now a woman don't want to be barefoot and pregnant. You know what I'm saying? When really, that's what the Most High, he said, I brought women here, I created women to bear children, for you can impregnate them. Right? Not for a woman to rule over you. So everything we've been taught is opposite. A woman is to sacrifice her so-called, what the world has given us freedom, to raise children within the scriptures. That's your role, to raise children with the Most High's word. Okay? Train them up, train your child up from their youth. They will not depart. Because truthfully, the man was out working. You see responsibility? There's honor in that. The Most High appreciates it. He respects it. Don't listen to Satan. There's honor in that. The Most High has left you with so-called, let's say, stewardship over his children. Check this out. Who's the first voice a child hears? His mother's. Mm-hmm. Her mother's. Who teach them language? The mom. Get that? It's a blessing. Okay? Let's go.
Continue verse 6. That thus nothing might be wanting to them on earth.
See that? A family. Most High gave Adam a family. Everything he can desire. Remember, Adam had it all, but something was lacking. A family. Everything had a family. Was this not a woman? Every species had a family. Adam needed a family to be complete. Seed to go after him. This is what the Most High said. This is what I created you for this purpose. To fill the earth with righteous children. Okay? Let's go.
But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for you. For as the spiritual ones of the heaven, in heaven is their dwelling. And now...
See, now there's something different. Okay? Because they begot children. Now it's something different. Okay? At this time, the angels were able to come through the firmament and go back up to heaven in the presence of the Most High. But now there's something different. Okay?
And now the giants, which are produced from the spirits and flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon the earth.
See, now, when they die, the spirit that precedes their body, that goes out of their body, will not be able to enter heaven. Okay? So now you have guards over the portals or the doors of heaven. Right? This is why I was telling Smike this the other day, was having a conversation about, the firmament that is over the earth. Okay? There's doors that we can't see that are protected by the angels. Now, right now, if this was all wood, no glass, right? Outside that door, we can't see, right? That's how the firmament is. There's many levels of heaven. I think there's 10 or 11. 10, I think it's 10 levels. Okay? So when we look up in the sky, this is the first level of heaven. Okay? There's more. When it gets night here, it don't get night on the second level, or the third level, or the fourth level. We can't see what's outside the door. Okay? So, what goes on within this bubble stays in this bubble. The sun, the moon, and all the stars are within the firmament. They are the only angels that are not required to go honor the Sabbath. What's outside of this firmament are, there's many different angels, types of spirits. All other spirits, every Sabbath, every holy day are to honor before the Most High. Except for your celestial. What's called? Celestial. Okay? So they had children, and when they died, their spirits would be called evil spirits. These are the spirits that you see in movies. Okay? That are tormenting mankind today. Let's get it.
Shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the holy watchers, is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, on the earth shall be their dwelling.
On the earth will be their dwelling. They would not ever enter heaven.
And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack.
Let's stop. Let's go back. This is why the title is, the fallen angels are the root of sin or iniquity and strife and etc. This is their functionality. This is all that they do. They do what?
Afflict.
They afflict. So when we're going through anything in life, affliction. What else?
Oppress.
Oppression.
Destroy.
We destroy.
Attack.
Attacked.
Do battle.
Do battle.
and work destruction on this earth.
And work destruction. So all these people who do these things are possessed, controlled by these evil spirits. So it's not the individuals, it's the spirits that are in them. This is their job. This is what they would do. This is what they would do. Okay. Reach your phone, brother. Let's go.
And cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women.
See, that's your war. These spirits will rise up against men. That's our war. Okay?
Because they have proceeded from them, from the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants, from the souls of whose flesh the spirits, having gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment.
So they will destroy, cause havoc on earth without immediate judgment. Right? That's all they would do. That's why the word is the way it is. So it's not black on black crime. It's the spirits that are in these people. It's not this country against that country. It's the spirits that's in these people, that's ruling these countries. Okay?
Thus shall they destroy until the day of consummation.
To the day into judgment day, when all sin will be finalized. Okay? To the end of wickedness.
The great judgment in which the age shall be consummated over the watchers and the godless. Yeah.
See, over the watchers and all those who follow them in their ungodly ways, judgment would occur.
Shall be wholly consummated. And now, as to the watchers who have sent thee to intercede for them, who had been aforetime in heaven, say to them, you have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you. And you knew worthless ones, and these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women. And through these mysteries, women and men work much evil on earth.
See, that's the origin of the evils that are on earth. Most I say, you knew worthless ones. Have y'all already noticed that today their greatest creations destroy? When mankind talks about their greatest accomplishments, it has to do something with the ability to destroy. That's all they taught us. How to destroy. How to war. How to go against the enemy of the Most High. Okay?
Verse 4. Say to them, therefore, you have no peace.
So, the Most High said, you have no peace. There's no repentance, there's nothing. You have no peace. What's coming to you, you're going to get it. Destruction. And all those who follow you. But we have a choice. Like I said, we're not subject to sin. We have a choice. To listen to these spirits or the spirit of the Most High. We have a choice. Genesis chapter 4, verse 2 through 11. Now we're going to show you through the scriptures on how these spirits operate in mankind. Now, prior to this right here, the Bible speaks no problem between Cain and Abel. They were brothers, right? Had brotherly love for each other. But these spirits, these fallen angels, led by the wicked one, Satan, planted some in Cain's heart. Jealousy, pride, Take note. Jealousy and pride and murder. Let's go.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, and verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Most High.
So in process of time, so time ticked, right? Time went on. Many years passed by. And that Cain brought forth fruit of the ground for an offering unto the Most High. Showing you that Cain knew about offerings, right? So this is nothing new. They've been doing this. But this one is different. This is why the Most High put it here, because this offering was different than any other offering. And the Most High going to speak, letting us know that Cain knew better. Okay?
Verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof.
So Abel knew about sacrifice too. These two brothers had the same father who knew about sacrifice. My brother, can you mute your phone, please?
And the Most High had respect unto Abel, and to his offering.
So the Most High respected the sacrifice of Abel, but not Cain's.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
See? Someone told Cain to do what he did, put the thought in his mind. Right? Now this is my, as Paul said, I speak as a man on this one, right? I can hear Satan now. You worked hard. Why the Most High choose, all these years choosing your brother? I mean, why you gotta bring your brother's sacrifice? Why you can't bring your own? You work hard, you till the ground. Your fruit is beautiful. You can bring, this is pride and jealousy. Yeah, you're right. These watermelons look good. You know what I'm saying? No blemishes, Just like that. I'm telling you. Ain't nothing new up under the sun. So Satan has put pride and jealousy into the heart of Cain. So he brings forth an offering that he knows better to bring for the Most High. And we're going to show you that the Most High initiated sacrifice. And Adam knew about sacrifice. Right? Let's go.
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
See, Most High said, if you do well, I'm not accepted. Like, I even accepted your sacrifice for years. So he couldn't have told Cain this if Cain had no knowledge of the right way. Have I not? It's like right now, right? Through history, one is predictable. Like through your pattern, one's predictable, right? So, let's say my mother. Let's say, like for example, this on a lower level, it got really nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say this came to my mind. She knows through history that, now I know I can't eat it, but I don't like liver. Right? When I was younger, she tried every other way to get me to eat liver. Can't fool no one from what a steak tastes like and what liver tastes like. You know what I'm saying? So she knows that I don't like liver. Now imagine tomorrow she comes to my house and maybe I cook you dinner. And it's liver. Like, huh? Mom. Now, no disrespect, but I'm throwing this in the trash. You know what I'm saying? Now I know the law says I can't eat liver. It's an organ, right? But that's a distinct difference. She knows through history and through a pattern that she cooked me a steak. I'm gonna tear that thing up. You know what I'm saying? But it's liver, I can't do it. So this off subject for a minute, but back to the script. All these years, Cain and Abel, Adam has been doing sacrifices. And we're going to show that it was a time that Adam didn't know how to properly repent. Because it was new to the earth. Right? So the Most High showed him by doing it first. So that being said and known, you know that Adam taught Cain and Abel how to properly do it because they witnessed their father all their life do it. Okay? So now Satan comes with a strange offering through Cain. Okay, let's go.
Verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the doors.
Satan's waiting for you to do this thing.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
See, that's the jealousy. Remember it said that sin conceived, and now jealousy gave birth to hatred, and hatred to murder. First murder on earth. Okay.
And verse 9. And the Most High said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not.
Now he's lying. Okay. Like it says, hey, you poured abominations. We're watching abominations pour out this man as we read it in two scriptures. Jealousy, anger, jealousy, hatred, disobedience, murder. Right? Pride, all that. Let's go.
Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Now let's go to the first sacrifice, right? Genesis chapter 3, verse 21. Showing that the Most High was the first one to do sacrifice. Let's go.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 21.
Prior to this right here, when Adam and Eve sinned, they cut figs and made themselves aprons. Okay? But the Most High properly clothed them. Go ahead.
Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Most High God make coats of skin and clothe them.
So to make coats of skin, an animal had to die. Blood had to be shed. Right? So the Most High showed Adam what was the proper way of repentance. The blood of an innocent animal had to be shed. And with that, he didn't just waste it. He made clothing, right? And food for them. Okay? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 10, verse 1 through 3. So showing how these spirits enter into mankind and cause strife, murder, the works of evil upon the earth. Okay? This is what they do. Now, here is two of Aaron's sons that these spirits have gotten into and led to error. Leviticus chapter 10, verse 1 through 3.
The book of Leviticus chapter 10 and verse 1. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Most High.
When it says strange fire, this is a profane thing that they're doing. Right? Their job, their role as priests was to bring forth the incense, right? But the ones the Most High said bring. Here's Satan again, or one of them fallen angels, put into their mind that they can do their own thing. Right? See, it was not them. Again, someone planted the seed of disobedience in these two brothers. And this also relates to us today, that we cannot serve the Most High how we will. There's only one way to serve the Most High, and that's to be obedient to His word. Not any other, no man, no spirit's word, the Most High's word. We cannot do our own thing with the Most High. And that's why these stories are written in this Bible. We can learn from this. Now, one may say, well, hey, their role was to bring the incense. But the Most High is a very detailed God. He tell you exactly what kind of wood, what kind of gold, what kind of incense, whatever it is, to the T, the measure of it, everything. So there's no excuse. And these brothers knew better. Okay?
And offered strange fire before the Most High, which he commanded them not.
See, he commanded them not. It's just like our mother Eve. The Most High commanded her not to eat from that fruit of that vine. Right? But someone, as we know is Satan, enticed her. The same way they're doing these two brothers right here.
And there went out fire from the Most High.
Isn't that right? They had a strange fire. The Most High said the strange fire from on high. For real, immediately. You're gonna bring a strange fire into my camp? I'm gonna bring a fire from heaven. All right? Let's go.
And there went out fire from the Most High, and devoured them, and they died before the Most High. Then Moses said unto Aaron, This is that which Ahiah spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me.
I will be sanctified, purified, clean. No man would ever be able to say that they can come to me any kind of way. Showing an example, you must come correct when you come before the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
And before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace.
I guess so. No matter what he felt inside, he held his peace. He'd be consumed too. Them is two sons that got murdered right then. Imagine that sight, y'all. Imagine that sight. Seeing fire from on high come devour your two sons. You'd be glorified. You know the Most High is not like these other spirits. Right? What he requires, he requires. If not, there's a consequence behind it. Right? And I was telling the sister here a while ago, I'm like, I have not read so anyone breaking a vow or being disobedient to the Most High without a consequence. There's a consequence behind it. The Most High is not the one to dispute. He may forgive your error, but you're gonna suffer first though. You're gonna know better, flat out. Okay. That's just what it is. It's not like, even we will get to a story about Aaron's sister, Miriam, right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna get to it next, I think. Moses prayed to Most High, heal his sister immediately. Most High said she's gonna suffer for 7 days. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna suffer. So, when you're disobedient to the Most High, He will forgive you, but I'm saying He will pay the price though. That you will not want to do that again. Okay? So, let's go.
The next precept, the book of Numbers.
Here, go right here, I think.
Chapter 12 and verse 1 through 15. Once again, that's Numbers chapter 12, verses 1 through 15.
Mm-hmm. This is the one right here. It's showing you that all these situations we're reading they read in the book of Enoch, right? What these evil spirits would do, right? They would war with mankind, so they would get into flesh and cause all these actions that we're seeing right now. So when we read these stories, we ought to properly see them as they really are. Mm-hmm. It's the spirits that's in them. This is why the scripture said again, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with powers, with gods in the dark places. That's what we fight against. So even Israel, we could have wrote We actually did a lesson kind of similar to this lesson, using some of these same examples. It was called Satan Used Men to Tempt, right? But this is how they operate, through men. And when you read the story about the children of Israel, all their disobedience, they were overcome by Satan. It was him that, it was them that was causing. When I say Satan, Satan means adversary to God, adversary to the Most High. So it's many Satan, but there's one ruler over them, right? They all have the same function. So we read all these stories about how stiff-necked our people is. It's because they're serving Satan, not the Most High. All these acts that you see, Job, but then we go in Job too. Oh, his wife, his friends, the demons was in them speaking through them, like how Eve said when she opened her mouth, Satan came out. It's the demons, that evil spirits that's in these people that are causing these conflicts, causing these disobedience, the strife, the murders. Okay, let's go.
The book of Numbers, chapter 12, and verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath the high...
It said they spoke against Moses. Now in the scriptures it says rebuke not an elder, right? And many elders don't tell the truth about that scripture. You are not to rebuke an elder who is righteous, who's blameless. Moses was blameless. It goes farther in the scriptures. It tell you about being brethren. And that's a believing one who labor in the faith, have to teach. Right? You're not to put any false accusation on people who's to respect who the Most High put before you. But if that brother is not qualified in the scriptures, if he's not one that's laboring in the faith and who is really about this life, you are to rebuke him. And on the witness of two or more, he will get what's coming too, because we're all brethren. Right? What they're doing to Moses is wrong. Having lack of understanding. Right? Most High is using this man for show. Ain't no question about it. The Most High is using Moses.
Didn't he marry outside his faith?
We get to that afterwards. Let's go.
And they said, hath the higher indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the higher heard it.
Now, there's your pride. There's your jealousy. Right? Moses, you know one person that Most High using? We're all the children of Israel. Right? There's Satan and his band operating. Okay? Let's go.
Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men of
humble. Don't mean he was a soft brother, because he was not. He was very humble. Okay?
Above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the highest spake suddenly unto Moses.
Suddenly. He didn't wait 7 days. He had Moses go to the mountain 7 days to speak to him on the Sabbath. He spoke immediately. Okay?
And unto Aaron and unto Miriam. Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the higher came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Most High, will make myself known unto him in a vision.
Now that's in the law, right? If there's now these brothers who said that no, this brother and this woman, this brother and this woman said the Most High deal with them too. If I'm using you, I will speak to you tonight in a vision. Right? But he said Moses was something different to him. Okay? What he said about Moses?
Well, it's like, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so.
It's not so. He didn't speak to Moses in dreams. How he spoke to Moses?
Who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth.
Mouth to mouth. Now we know that this is Yahshua that's speaking. It's not the Most High. It's Yahshua as the word of the Most High, the representative of the Most High. But this has, like when that pillar of cloud came down, it's a voice also. So it's a voice. Like right now, I hear the voice. The Most High has talked to me. That's how the Most High dealt with his friend Moses. He didn't call Moses. I can't read no time in this Bible, but Moses had a vision. Can y'all? There's many prophets, like, as he said, if he's a prophet, I'll speak to him in a vision tonight. But Moses is not so. Him, I speak mouth to mouth. He hears my voice. Okay? Let's go.
Even apparently, and not in dark speeches.
Like even apparently, as you see right now, I'm speaking out this pillar of cloud, right?
And the similitude of the Most High shall he behold. Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
See? Like, you see this, apparently. Who gave you the audacity to disrespect my servant? We know who it is. Do y'all see the operation of the evil spirits? Like, imagine I had the ability through the Spirit Most High to do these marvelous works. Would y'all not fear that? Men once had that ability. We will have it again. Right? But wouldn't that bring fear to you, though? Like Elijah, right? When he prayed, and with the fire was coming down and destroying all those men. And the last one came and look at me, look. Please don't destroy me. I know the Most High God is using you. You know what I'm saying? Please don't destroy me, because the rest of them, they were getting wiped out. So with that in your presence, how you come to this confidence of disobedience? It's the operation of the evil spirits. So did y'all see how cunning they are? Even though the power of the Most High is in this man, right? They deceived them. They deceived Miriam and Aaron. Let's go.
Verse 9. And the anger of the Most High was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle.
Check it out. That's one thing I was telling. I was having a conversation. It was asked of me about the fear of the Most High. That's the one thing right there that I do not want to do to the Most High. Is him to kindle his anger towards me. Because I'm telling you, it ain't a pretty sight. Y'all understand that? We do not want the Most High's anger to be kindled against us. So.
And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow.
White as snow. So showing you that these portraits of these red people is not true. If you're already white, how can your hand turn white? Okay? But showing you the color of Miriam, Moses, and Aaron. Okay? And all the other people at this time that was in the camp. Let's go.
And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee.
Oh, so now the fear came back now. Now he's begging his brother. Okay?
Lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be.
Check it out. Do y'all notice something? These evil spirits was in Aaron and Miriam, right? But when the Most High, when Yasha came with the mission of the Most High, they were gone. Do y'all get that? They gone now. So now they back to their normal, their regular senses now. Because there's no influence right now in this moment. Right? Do y'all see that? So now Aaron, I beseech you, brother, that do what? Lay not the sin upon her, on us. Before they had different mentality because there was something in them. But they fled from the presence of the Most High. Okay?
let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Most High, saying, Heal her now, O God, I beseech thee.
Check it out. That's conversations right there. Moses went to the Most High meeting and prayed for his sister and asked him to heal her right now. Okay? But check out what the Most High say though.
And the Most High said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days?
Now check it out. That's the law. Right? If her father spit in her face, will she not be ashamed 7 days? Yeah. I think it was concerning marriage or something like that.
I think that was when the wife spit in the face of the
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, the brother. Brother-in-law
take it.
marriage. Yeah. Thank you. If a brother did not want to further his brother's seed, if his brother's wife did not have a son, in the law it was called brother-in-law. What was it, brother-in-law marriage? What was it? Where the brother had to go into the wife and produce a seed
To further the family.
for his inheritance. It was all about inheritance. And if that brother did not want to do it, then the woman was to spit it, loose his shoes and spit it in his face. Right? And I'm trying to tell you, but if somebody spit in your face, that take their shoes off, and then you'll be called he who has whose shoes are loose. So it brings shame on you, right? So the Most High, so the Most High is saying, if this happens to her, would she be shamed for 7 days? So no, she gonna suffer for 7 days, right? You ain't getting away with it. Now he could have healed her immediately, but no, she had to go through this outside the camp for 7 days. Whole camp had to wait for her. So imagine how the spirits are in the people against her now. Because we got to sit for 7 days. We could have, it's imagine all the strife and murmurs going on right now. Right? So I'm saying you're going to pay the consequences of doing the Most High. You ain't getting no free pass with him. Okay? So let's go.
Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. The next precept, family, 2 Samuel, chapter 24, and verses 1 through 4. Once again, 2 Samuel 24, verses 1 through 4.
Now, again, Satan is about to enter into David, entice him to sin. Okay? So we're just showing you how the operation of these evil spirits work. They enter into mankind and entice them to go against the Most High. Right? And at this time, check it out. When you see the children of Israel being disobedient to the Most High, what's actually going on is these evil spirits is trying to destroy Israel. The seed that the Most High said will operate in the earth with the seed of Satan. They're trying to destroy it. Now they're dealing with David. They're trying to destroy David. So they're trying to like I said, to throw off prophecy. Because it's prophesied that Yahshua will come through the seed of David. Right? So they're attacking David to throw off prophecy. Right? And we thank the Most High for his mercy he had on David. Because the wedge of sin face is right? But all this is to throw off prophecy. Right? To try to cause the Most High to err. The Most High cannot err. So this is why they're attacking David. Because it's prophesied that our King, our Lord and Savior, will come out from the seed. Right?
2 Samuel chapter 24 verse 1. And again, the anger of the Most High was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say.
Now see, a sister here asked me about this before, because this is how they put it, right? Because again, the anger of the Most High was kindled against Israel, and he moved David. So one would assume that it's talking about the Most High, right? It's not talking about the Most High, right? First of all, it's a little h. Be very careful when we read this, right? The Most High is never referred to with a little nothing. It's a capital G, a capital H, a capital H. His, he, God, right? So it's a little h. So it's talking about a lesser God. Moved David, okay?
Against them to say, go, number Israel and Judah.
Remember, David was not supposed to number the children of Israel, nor his army, right? Because he'll take pride in the numbers, reliance on numbers over the Most High. Most High said, hey, whether he had an army or not, he'll destroy how many it is. So don't take confidence in your horses or your soldiers, right?
For the king said to Joab, the captain of the host, which was with him, go now through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, and number ye the people, that I may know the number of the people. And Joab said unto the king, now the Most High thy God add unto the people, how many soever they be, an hundredfold, and that the eyes of my lord the king may see it. But why doth my lord the king delight in this thing?
Hey, why you delight in breaking the Most High laws, King? The Most High supply you whatever you need.
Notwithstanding, the king's word prevailed against Joab and against the captains of the host.
So the Most High was warning him through this man. He didn't take the counsel of the Most High, he took the counsel of Satan. The Most High was trying to prevent David from sinning. Through Joab, right? Let's go.
And Joab and the captains of the host went out from the presence of the king to number the people of Israel.
First Chronicle chapter 21. Now it's going to show you who was the one that was behind the disobedience. Chapter 21, verse 1. One through six.
That second Samuel was a key verse. It just showed.
We went to after class. Write it down, bro. Make sure you're serious. Okay. First Chronicle chapter 21, verse 1 through 6 reads.
And Satan stood up against Israel.
Who?
Satan.
That was the Most High God.
Wow.
See, it was Satan that stood up against Israel and
And
provoked David to number Israel. Get it? Satan used men to tempt. Right?
And David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, go, number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know it.
See, that's why the scriptures say we wrestle. I'm gonna say it again. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. The Most High wants us to see our enemies and how they operate. We have to recognize this, y'all. We have to recognize it's not men that we're fighting with. The war is really spiritual. That's why it says our weapons are not carnal. Men cannot save us from these evil spirits. Our weapon is from the Most High. What the Most High provide for us is our weapons, are our weapons. right? We have angelic protection if we are obedient. That's the only way we can fight. The reliance on the Most High.
And Joab answered, the Most High make his people 100 times so many more as they be.
So that's one of the Most High spirits that's in Joab again, reminding David. See, there we go. Like again in cartoons back in what the Flintstones. A little evil one and a good angel. The evil one spoke, David listened. The righteous one spoke, David didn't listen. That's how it works. Okay, we don't have freedom of thought. We have to listen and discern. That's why Yasha says, my sheep only listen to my voice. They won't hear the voice of strangers. It's in the mind where the war is. Okay? That's where the spirit resides at. We have to know the voice of our Father and recognize the voice of a strange spirit. Okay?
Continue verse 3.
So, if David would have done this, he would say, no. The Most High say, it is written. The Most High say, I am not to number my people. But I can take census on Israel. So that one is not that one out of the box right there, but he listened. Okay?
But, my lord the king, are they not all my lord's servants? Why then doth my lord require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel?
See how the Most High speaking to him? Like, my son, why are you doing this? Who are you listening to? Why are you going to cause Israel to transgress? So,
Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab. Wherefore Joab departed and went throughout all Israel and came to Jerusalem. And Joab gave the sum of the number of the people unto David. And all they of Israel were 1,000,000 and 100,000 men that drew sword. And Judah was 410,000 men that drew sword. But Levi and Benjamin counted he not among them, for the king's word was abominable to Joab.
see? Because Joab was a righteous man. And he knew what King David was doing was wrong. The Most High was using him to try to prevent David from sinning. But there was a consequence that came with this. For those who know, the death angel came down immediately. Most High gave David 3 options, but when he was given options, the death angel was already taking care of business. Remember that? So, now let's get in Job, chapter 2.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 2. Oh, chapter 1, verse 1. Thank you. Go about it.
The book of Job, chapter 1, and verse 1.
You know, in this, when we get there, this to reiterate, this is why it's important for us to listen to each other. That was a perfect example of how, if there's someone here that's operating outside of the Most High, and a sister or brother come to him and speak to him, that's why it's important to recognize the voice of the Most High. The Most High was using Joab to try to correct him. That's a brother who was lesser than the king. So how can an elder or someone say that they're above reproof? This is a king. The Most High using his servant to correct them, to prevent him from sinning. He does the same thing for all of us. Like that one time we had a conversation with the brother's not in here, but I was telling them, it's not this me. If your sister, your brother, the Most High used them to correct you, listen. If it's the voice of the Most High, if it's scriptural, listen. They come at you with some worldly advice, shun it. But if it's of the Most High, listen. We are to help each other, sharpen each other, save each other. Remember, we belong to each other. With that mentality, we will accept the counsel of the Most High from His servants. We're all servants of the Most High. He used all of us. But if someone who so-called is a servant of the Most High come with you contrary to the Scriptures, flee from the counsel. That's why, again, I'm going to say it's important to read your Bible. Because you have to know what the Most High says. Whether to be able to recognize the difference in the voices. Con? Let's go.
The book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1. There was a man.
Oh, we missed something.
Oh, Con.
I didn't write it down. You know what? My apologies. I didn't write it down. I thought I had it down there. Let's go back to the book of Adam and Eve.
That's right.
I didn't write it down. My apologies, y'all. How did I miss that? I'm trying to tell you. Man, I read this. Page 134. My apologies. Man, how did I forget that? I didn't read this.
I said, actually, you didn't forget it.
Oh yeah, I did. The Most High brought it back. This goes right at Genesis chapter. After Baruch chapter 3. I mean, third Baruch chapter 4. Go right after that. Nope. Right after James. It should go after James. Okay. Page 134, y'all. Okay. When they were driven out from paradise, they made themselves a booth or a tent and spent 7 days mourning and lamenting in great grief. But after 7 days, they began to hunger and started to look for victuals to eat, and they found it not. Then Eve said to Adam, "My Lord, I am hungry. Go, look for something for us to eat. Perchance the Most High will look back and pity us and recall us to the place in which we were before." No, it took her 7 days to feel the hunger desire. Showing they was a little different than us. The food that they ate was more lasting than it is nowadays. And Adam arose and walked 7 days over all that land and found no victuals, such as they used to have in paradise. And Eve said to Adam, "Wilt thou slay me, that I may die? And perchance the Most High, the Higher, will bring thee into paradise. For on my account hast thou been driven thence." Adam answered, "Forbear, Eve, from such words, that peradventure the Most High bring not some other curse upon us. How is it possible that I should stretch forth my hand against my own flesh? Nay, let us arise and look for something for us to live on, that we fail not." And they walked about and searched for 9 days, and they found none such as that they were used to have in paradise. That's 16 days, ain't it? But found only animals' food. And Adam said to Eve, "This have the Most High provided for animals and brutes to eat, but we used to have angels' food. But it is just and right that we lament before the sight of the Most High who made us. Let us repent," right? "Let us repent with a great repentance. Perchance the Most High will be gracious to us and He will pity us and give us a share of something for our living." So, and Eve said to Adam, "What is penance? Tell me, what sort of penance am I to do? Let us not put too great a labor on ourselves, which we cannot endure, so that Ahia will not hearken to our prayers and will turn away his countenance from us, because we have not fulfilled what we promised. My Lord, how much penance hast thou?" Slow, brother.
Or if I interrupt him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What
time does the class end or whatever?
Why, what's up?
No, I was wondering what it was. I saw the science of educational consulting.
No, this is actually a church. It used to be that.
Oh, okay. I just saw.
We gotta change that sign, yeah.
Oh, okay. How long y'all been open?
On Saturdays we have class at 2 o'clock.
Oh, it's a church. Oh, okay.
You're welcome to come to class. You want to see how?
Okay, what time do the class on Saturday? What is it?
2 to about 5.
Oh, 2 about 5. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's about okay.
You,
Maybe
you,
next Saturday.
you can take your hat off and come grab your seat though.
No, but y'all finna, I know. I thought it was educational call. I just got to mix it up.
It is educational.
Yeah, oh, no, I ain't knocking that. That's good too. That's okay.
Okay,
Y'all
bro.
take care. God bless. All right. Y'all good. You good.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get it. Where the fuck?
And E said, at the end of Pentecost, about 3.
No, it's two. It's, yeah, one is Adam and one is Eve. So it's the left side. Okay. Yeah.
And will turn away his countenance from us because we have not filled my Lord. Yeah, 3.
3.
Yep.
My Lord, how much penance hast thou thought to do? For I have brought trouble and anguish upon thee. Right. Let's listen, family. Okay. So here's Eve recognizing that she's the cause of all this. She wants to die. She wants Adam to slay her. He said, I can't do that. You're flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. Right? Like, be quiet, woman, for you cause the Most High to put another curse with us. Okay? And Adam said to Eve, thou cannot do so much as I, but do only so much as thou hast strength for. For I will spend 40 days fasting. But do thou arise and go to the river Tigris, and lift up a stone and stand on it in the water up to thy neck in the deep of the river. She's showing Adam didn't know how to properly atone for his sin. Right? He's doing what he thinks is right. That's why we read earlier the Most High made coach when he showed Adam how to properly atone for sin and sacrifice. Which is why we said Abel and Cain knew how to do it, because Adam didn't know at first. Most High showed them, right? So, and listen to the command of Eve's husband, Adam, right? And let no speech proceed out of thy mouth. So that means at this time, y'all, the animals spoke Hebrew. So Adam and Eve talked to the animals and they talked back like the cartoons. So talk to no one. Okay? And let no speech, that's why it was no strange thing for her to talk to the serpent. Right? This is what they did on a daily. And let no speech proceed out of thy mouth, since we are unworthy to address Ahia. For our lips are unclean from the unlawful and forbidden tree. And remember how the Most High said that he'd be sanctified in the midst of his people? You come near him. See, Adam is saying that we unworthy to even speak to the Most High since we disobey him. The Most High is not one to play with. Okay? Verse 2. And do thou stand in the water of the river 37 days, but I will spend 40 days in the water of Jordan. Perchance the Most High will take pity upon us. And Eve walked to the river Tigris, I think, and did as Adam had told her. Likewise, Adam walked to the river Jordan and stood on a stone up to his neck in water. Listen to the power of Adam, okay? And Adam said, I tell thee, water of Jordan, grieve with me. See, the water is spiritual, right? And assemble to me all swimming creatures which are in thee, and let them surround me and mourn in company with me. Remember, the fish of the seas, the birds, all was under the dominion of Adam. In our kingdom, this would be back how it's supposed to be. Okay? Not for themselves let them lament, but for me. For it is not they that have sinned, but I. For with all living things came and surrounded him. And from that hour the water of Jordan stood still, and its current was stayed. And 18 days passed by. Then Satan was wroth and transformed himself into the brightness of angels. Remember, Satan come as an angel of light? Be careful, y'all. Eve praying every day. Okay? Satan hear your prayers too, obviously. Okay? I don't know about that. Maybe they're speaking out loud, but he knew what was going on. Put it like that. And went away to the river Tigris to Eve and found her weeping. And the devil himself pretended to grieve with her. Y'all get this? He pretended to grieve with her. So, hey, what looks good ain't all good. So someone, your brother, your sister can pretend to love you. Right? So Satan could be one of our brothers and our sisters, causing them to pretend certain things. Okay? He may pretend to be a righteous brother or sister. That's why the Most High said, before you call one a friend, prove them. Okay? Found her weeping, and the devil himself pretended to grieve with her. And he began to weep and said to her, come out of the river and lament no more. Cease now from sorrow and mourns. Why art thou anxious and thy husband Adam? Now check that out. Is not Satan supposed to be talking to her husband about this? Y'all get this? He's asking the wife about her husband. Satan knows how to operate wickedly. He went to the weaker vessel. Remember, Adam was the head of the household. If anything concerning his house, he's supposed to go to the men. Why are you and your wife? He went to the woman. Why are you and your husband? Eve just said, go ask him. You know what I mean? But he's cunning. The Most High have heard your groaning, and have accepted your repentance. And all we angels have entreated on your behalf and made supplications to the Most High. And he hath sent me to bring you out of the water and give you the nourishments which you had in paradise, for which you are crying out. Now, what's going on right now? All right? Adam gave her a command, right? Let no speech come out of your mouth. She's having a conversation with Satan again. She's listening to Satan again. So it sounds righteous. It's what she prayed for. See how he deceives the whole world? He gives them their heart's desires. It appears good. So now she done broke her husband's commandment, broke the Most High's commandment, and now her husband's commandment, who she is to obey as if he was the Lord. Okay? Come out of the water, and I will conduct you to the place where your victuals have been made ready. Wow. But Eve heard and believed and went out of the water of the river. Like this forgot her husband. Y'all get this? So women, take heed to how Satan operates. Men, take heed to how Satan operates. Someone will give you bad advice. Someone will give you bad advice. Be prepared. Okay? But Eve heard and believed and went out of the water of the river, and her flesh was trembling like grass from the chill of the water. And when she had gone out, she fell on the ground, and the devil raised her up and led her to Adam. He even helped her up. Hey, he go the extra mile for you to get you to sin against the Most High. Imagine that. You're weak. You fell down, he helped you up. So, to people, this can be righteous. This can be a good thing. Like, he helped me. Not even recognizing what her husband had told her. So at this moment, she's blind. See how it is when we live in darkness? How we're blind. We forget the word of the Most High. But when Adam had seen her and the devil with her, he wept and cried aloud and said, "O Eve, Eve, where is the labor of thy penance? How hast thou been again ensnared by our adversary? By those means we have been estranged from our abode in paradise and spiritual joy." So he can see Satan. He's not a serpent right now. And when she heard this, Eve understood that it was the devil who had persuaded her to go out of the river. And she fell on her face on the earth, and her sorrow and groaning and wailing was redoubled. And she cried out and said, "Woe unto thee, thou devil! Why dost thou attack us for no cause?" So who's attacking them? Who's attacking us? For no cause. Not right now. What hast thou to do with us? What have we done to thee? For thou pursuest us with craft, with beguile. Or why does thy malice assail us? Have we taken away thy glory and caused thee to be without honor? Why dost thou hurry us, thou enemy, and pursue us to death? Thou persecute us to the death in wickedness and envy. Like, what have we done to you? Why are you doing this to us? Okay? And with a heavy sigh, the devil spake, "O Adam." See, now he got his wife. Now he comes to Adam. "Oh, Adam, man, listen to Satan. This is it. Here comes the truth of the war." And with a heavy sigh, the devil spake, "O Adam, all my hostility, envy, and sorrow is for thee." So it's for mankind. Okay? What Adam means? Mankind. All his hostility, envy, and sorrow is for thee, since it is for thee that I have been expelled from my glory. Is that the truth or a lie? It's Satan not recognizing his own fault. He's blaming something that he envied, as opposed to looking in the mirror and accusing and blaming himself. That's why that spirit roams through this earth right now today. Expelled from my glory, and it says, which I possess in the heavens, in the midst of the angels. And for thee I was cast out in the earth. Adam answered, "What doest thou tell me? What have I done to thee? Or what is my fault against thee, seeing that thou hast received no harm or injury from us? Why doest thou pursue us?" The devil replied, "Adam, what doest thou tell me? It is for thy sake that I have been hurled from that place," which is a lie. "When thou was formed, I was hurled out of the presence of the Most High, and banished from the company of the angels. When God blew into thee the breath of life, and thy face and thy likeness was made in the image of the Most High, Michael also brought thee and made us worship thee in the sight of the Most High. And the Most High spake, here's Adam, I have made thee in our image and likeness." Right? And Michael went out and called all the angels, worshiped the image of the Most High, as Ahiah has commanded. And Michael himself worshiped first. Do y'all get what's going on? Michael is a humble, obedient servant, archangel of the Most High. Michael did not command other angels to do nothing that he himself wasn't going to do. Although he was superior even to Satan, he set the example. Y'all get it? For the greatest among you should be a servant. Michael is greater than Adam and Satan, or Lucifer. Okay? He set the example. He humbled himself and respected Adam. Okay? And Michael himself worshiped first. Then he called me and said, worship the image of the Most High, our power. And I answered, I have no need to worship Adam. And since Michael kept urging me to worship, this is love, y'all. Do y'all see that? This is love. Michael knows, Satan knows what comes with disobedience. Michael loved his brother. Like, bro, man, come on, man. He has nothing against Satan right now. Come on, bro. Right? Why do, he says, urging me to worship. And I said, why dost thou urge me? I will not worship an inferior and younger being than I. I am his senior in creation. Before he was made, I was already made. It is his duty to worship me. Remember the Most High said when iniquity was found in Satan's heart? Michael set the example. Says, I will not. What's that called? Pride? But pride is the beginning of all sin. Right? So, when the angels, here we go. When the angels who were under me heard this, they refused to worship him. A third of the angels heard this, seen this act of disobedience, right, and followed suit. And Michael said, worship the image of the Most High. But if thou wilt not worship him, the Most High will be wroth with thee. And I said, if he be wroth with me, I will set my seat above the stars of heaven and will be like the highest. Right? That's also in the book of Isaiah chapter 14. Okay? Listen to the pride, the arrogancy. For thy beauty, the Most High said to say. Right? And the Most High was wroth with me and banished me and my angels from our glory. And on thy account were we expelled from our abodes into this world and hurled on the earth. Again, it was not on their account. It was on account of his pride, his refusal to be obedient. And straightway we were overcome with grief, since we had been spoiled of so great glory. And we have grieved, and we were grieved when we saw thee in such joy and luxury. They said, hey, what's the old saying in the world? Misery loves company. You see where it come from? So since they seen Adam and Eve in their great spiritual joy and luxury, they attacked them. And with guile I cheated thy wife, and caused thee to be expelled through her doing from thy joy and luxury, as I have been driven out of my glory. When Adam heard the devil say this, he cried out and wept and spake, O Ahia, my God, my life is in thy hands. Banish this adversary far from me, who seeketh to destroy my soul, and give me his glory, which he himself hath lost. And at that moment, the devil vanished before him. But Adam endured in his penance, standing for 40 days on end in the water of Jordan. So, this is why we get persecuted without cause. Satan's envy, his anger, refusal to look at himself in his own face, own up to his own faults. He puts all the blame on us. Like if Adam, you would never created Adam, I would never did this. No, if you would never develop pride in your heart, you would never been banished from your estate. So because of that, they make war with us. Okay? For we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with what we just read. Okay? Now, you see the same approach with Job. Let's get it. Job chapter 1. Hey, sister, we'll be done in about 10 minutes. Okay.
The book of Job, chapter 1, and verse 1. And it reads, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect.
There's another perfect man in the Bible. So the world believes it's impossible. There's many perfect people in the Bible. The Most High's sight. Job was one of them.
And upright, and one that feared the Most High, and eschewed evil.
He hated evil. Okay?
Jumping down to verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Most High, and Satan came also among them.
See, at this time, as we can see, Satan still had access to go to both realms, okay?
And the Most High said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Most High and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Most High said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, and perfect, and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Most High and said, do Job fear the Most High for naught? Have not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands.
So Satan is telling the Most High that Job really don't love him or fear him. He just like that because you protect him and give him everything. Right? Here's the court case. Remember we talked about last week about the court case. This is Satan's trial. He's presenting this case about mankind. Saying that man don't really love you, man. If you take your protection and quit giving them everything, they will curse you to your very face. They don't really love you, man. Like you're fooling yourself. And this is our obligation, to shame the devil, to prove Satan a liar, to prove him that we really do love the Most High, we really do fear him, love him, respect him, worship him, honor him. This is where we all have to be little Jobs. Because that's the court case. That's why the Most High has given time. That's the first original court case and trial and judgment. Real talk. The Most High allowed this to go on for Satan to prove his. You know what? There's something I want to say about that. Check this out. The Most High has used Israel as a real example of the kingdom. Right? Those of us who have read the Bible, those of us who read the Bible multiple times, and those of you who are just reading it right now, one thing I want y'all to pay attention to, because this is a picture the Most High has painted. He's given us a foreshadowing of the kingdom through Israel. Brother, you with us? He's given us a foreshadowing of our up and coming kingdom. Right? What you will see is the few times we had a righteous king, Israel prospered, were protected. So the Most High has an example to show us that when we had a righteous king, the people were righteous. He blessed us. Right? As a foreshadowing in what's to come. When we had a wicked king, we had no protection, who was in captivity, spoiled, only oppressed. So what's going on right now, we have no king. We're spoiled and oppressed. When our righteous king comes and sin is cut off the earth, what we have to look forward to? A kingdom of righteousness. We can serve the Most High without fear. True salvation. Okay? So the Most High is showing us that as the king are the people. Okay? Well, our king, as we know, is righteous. The people will be righteous. Okay? So that's just something for y'all to look at when y'all read. You will see, every time we had a righteous king, they went out, tore down, burnt all the altars and all this stuff, and we all made an agreement to serve the Most High. We did. Right? But when that king died, his son came, I'll tell you. Back in captivity. You know what I mean? So let's go.
Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Now remember in James, he said that God cannot be tempted with evil, nor does he tempt man with evil. Right? So Satan cannot tempt the Most High to do evil. Okay? But check out what the Most High tell him.
And the Most High said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So
Don't kill him.
So Satan went forth from the presence of the Most High. And there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job, and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them.
Before we get here, I want y'all to really consider this right here. Imagine this happening to you. Like, Job didn't even get an opportunity to breathe. I mean, this was bad news after the worst news, after the worst news, after the worst news, after the worst news. That's why the Bible says, remember the patience of Job. Ain't none of us went through what Job has gone through. Don't want to. You're right. Let's go.
And the Sabaeans fell upon them, and took them away.
Now notice the operation that's going on. Job had peace. There was nothing going on until Satan came back down. So who's behind this? Satan. And we're going to even show you that he has power to manipulate the weather. He has taught these men the technology to manipulate the weather. This is the origin of it. Okay, let's go.
Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword.
Remember, he caused strife. He caused them to destroy. He put the thoughts in their mind to do these things. All right, let's go.
And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, The fire of the Most High is fallen from heaven.
Stop. The fire from heaven. So y'all see these lasers and stuff that's going on right now? They're just in Detroit. It's nothing new. Okay? Satan has the technology. Let's go.
And hath burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said,
Picture this, y'all. While he was still speaking. So it's probably 3 men in his house right now. They ain't got a chance to leave yet. The other was talk. But let's go.
The Chaldeans made out 3 bands, and fell upon the camels, and I've carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and only I am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, Thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness.
So Satan caused a tornado to come, right? Okay.
And smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead.
Killed this children.
And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose, and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground, and worshipped, and said, Naked I came out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Most High gave, and the Most High hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Most High. In all this, Job sinned not, nor charged the Most High foolishly.
Do y'all see the integrity of Job? You think he was not angry, hurt? But you see the mentality. He said, look, everything I have got in my life, even my children, were from the Most High, the Most High's. Even though he erred in his understanding, he had not cursed the Most High, nor blamed the Most High for nothing. He said, wait, whatever the Most High gave me, if he took it away, so be it. I enjoyed it while I had it. See? He put nothing before the Most High. Not his own children. You see the example that the Most High given us through this lesson. So Satan may kill our children. He may kill our parents. He may kill us. But we have to always maintain our integrity to the Most High. Think about Job, y'all. I'm telling you. Just imagine this happened to you. Everything he had was taken away from him. The only thing was left was his wife. Right? And here she comes. Spirit of Satan. Okay? Job chapter 2, verse 1 through 13. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came present. So now, here we go again. Came present to present themselves before the Most High. And Satan came also among them to present himself before the Most High. And the highest said unto Satan, whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Most High and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Most High said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity. So all you have done, Satan, Job still remains perfect and holds his integrity. Although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Most High and said, skin for skin, yeah. All that a man have will he give up for his life. That's why the Most High tells us we are not to fear death. We are to be faithful to the Most High even unto death. Because the fear of death is what keeps man in bondage. Right? But Satan is using that. He says, skin for skin. Hey, all men have, he would give all he got, but he would repent. I mean, he would rebel against you to save his life. He loved himself more than he loved you. Right? And I'm going to read verse 4 again. And Satan answered the Most High and said, skin for skin, yeah. All that a man have will he give for his life. Let that not be true concerning us, okay? But put forth thy hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. Again, y'all, this is the true court case. This is not this Job. This is all generations. Satan has accused all the Most High's children of the same thing. And the Most High said unto Satan, behold, he is in your hands, but save his life. All that he has is in your hands, but sup his life. Do not destroy him. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Most High, and smote Job with sore bores from the sole of his foot unto his crown. Where diseases come from? He took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal. And he sat, verse 8, he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him. So now, Satan cursed him with all these boils and disease, right? Now he's saying the closest thing to him. Check it out. Look at the operation of these spirits. Remember, again, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against powers, against these fallen gods, okay? Then Satan sent his wife unto him. Do thou still retain thy integrity? Curse God and die. Was that his wife? That was Satan. So like, man, now imagine how she's feeling though. So now Satan is playing on her emotions. Doing her children that she carried and you know what I mean? Raised. You get it? Do not let them play on your emotions.
Verse 10, but he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High?
Should we receive the good at the hand of the Most High?
And shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips.
Get it? So that's why the Most High said, if we happen to go into a lower state, if we lose everything, don't let Satan get to you emotionally. Because the desire to have those things back would be your flaw, would be your error. Job said, hey, the Most High, we gotta take the good with the bad. Even this time, I'm still thinking the Most High is doing this. So again, in our lives, what we have, what we lose, so be it. These people are going to take it anyway. It don't belong to us. Nothing on this earth belongs to us, not even ourselves. Keep that mentality. You don't own nothing, not even yourself. Okay?
Now, when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him,
he tried the wife. Now he's bringing 3 of his friends. Okay?
They came every one from his own place: Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. For they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off and knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent every one his mantle, and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven, so that they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great.
Just like with Eve, right? They came pretending to agree with him, right? But these brothers really did come to agree with him. And while they sat 7 days, Satan started to deal with them, right? And tell them, nah, man, hey, Job ain't what you think he is. It's because Job do stuff in the dark, he's wicked. He's wicked stuff to do in the heart. The Most High is paying him back for it, right? So Satan is planting thoughts, evil thoughts in his friend's mind, right? So this want to show how Satan used men to tempt. When I say Satan used men to tempt, that means tempt you against the Most High, entice you to sin. He used mankind to get us to sin. And these are examples, some of the examples in the Bible that verifies this. Okay? Let's get it.
The next precept, the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 1 through 11.
He didn't even spare our Lord and Savior, his creator. Okay? Also show you that Christ is not God, because he said that Most High can't be tempted with evil. Right? And Yahshua was tempted, but he did not sin.
The book of Matthew, chapter 4, in verse 1.
Go ahead.
Then was Yasha led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered.
So Satan waited till he got weak, right? So us, when we're fasting, take heed, y'all. We cannot break our fast for nothing. So when we're fasting and when we get hungry, we're not to fall into the temptations of the devil, but to hold fast with our fast. Let's get it.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread.
Now, y'all notice when you're fasting that the last part is the hardest? Because the devil is coming. He knows there's a place for you if you break your fast. Man, that food smells good. Right? Or man, I can't wait to eat this. Wait to drink the water. You know, the thoughts they put in your mind, trying to get you to break your fast for real. Okay, let's go.
But he answered and said,
So he said, if thou be a son of God, command these stones to be made bread. Like, you ain't gotta suffer, man. You can eat. You're son of God, man. You got power. Turn these stones into bread. Eat.
But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Read that again. Now understand why the Most High has me every Sabbath commanding y'all to eat this roll. Read that again. What man must do?
It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone.
Man must not live on physical food alone, but
By every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High.
just as we have an appetite, the need for physical food, we have a greater need for the spiritual food.
Come.
We're not all flesh. We have to feed the spirit. That's why when you're fasting, it's very important to read the Bible. It feeds you. See, we do the first part where we neglect the most important part. It is written, man must not live by bread alone, but by every word, not some of them, every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. That's in the law. Commandment. So you're not following the law if you're not reading the Bible. Living by every word. Okay? Let's go.
Verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of the Most High, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yasha said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt Ahia thy God.
Y'all see the difference between the two Adams? The first Adam and the second Adam? See, Adam was supposed to say, the Most High said, we are not to touch that fruit. See, Yasha coming with the correction. Adam didn't. This must be the prime example for us in our lives. We must be able to combat with the Spirit of the Most High these wicked spirits with the precepts of the Most High.
Come.
Go ahead.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them.
Does not Satan do the same thing today? Every entertainer has been taken up into the mountain and seen the kingdoms of the world in their glory. Every one of them. Right?
And saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Do you remember the stories in the Maccabees? When Satan told the same story to the young man? That you would be a friend of the king. That would shower you with all these riches. I'm like, how you be a friend of the king? You killed my family. What riches can pay back my family back? Why would I be a friend of you? You'd have killed my family. Money can't buy that. And it's sad to say, money buys that today. These entertainers sacrificing their families for the kingdom of this world. Y'all get it?
Verse 10. Then said Yasha unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship Ahia thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Angels came and helped him. See?
The next precept, Matthew chapter 16 and verse 1.
Last four precepts, family. So that's one temptation of Yahshua, right? Now here come the spiritual so-called leaders, right? Or the Bible calls them ministers of Satan. Okay? Let's go.
The book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven.
So here they go, right? Trying to get Yahshua to sin against the Most High. Right? You read that, you probably miss it. Like, how is that tempting him? It says the Pharisees also with the Sadducees. These are two different religions, right? Came and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. If he did this, this would be of himself. Every miracle that he did was not to validate himself. It was to bring glory to his Father when his Father said so. Mm-hmm. This would be a pride. Yeah, I'm going to show you who I am. Yahshua was not like that.
The next precept, the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, verses 3 through 6.
There's many other scriptures in there where Satan used these religious leaders to try to tempt our Lord and Savior. But as we know, he held fast his integrity. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3 through 6.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, starting at verse 3. And did all eat the same spiritual meat.
Where you at?
Oh, Salaki, that's first Corinthians. Salaki.
And this as when Yahshua was faithful to the Most High during temptation. The Most High sent angels to minister to him, right? He does the same thing with us. But you don't recognize that it's angels that are helping you out, giving you strength, giving you encouragement.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, and verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
See that? Even though we're flesh and blood, right? We don't war with the flesh.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but the mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds.
So who pulled down these strongholds, these evil spirit temptations? The Most High.
Mm-hmm. Casting down imaginations.
See, the imaginations, the things they have planted in our minds. Through the faith and obedience in the Most High, he will purge out all these things.
And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bring it into captivity, every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Y'all get that? Does this scripture applies to us? Do it apply to us? Are we relying on the Most High as our weapon against the evil spirits? Or do we think we can do it ourselves? First Peter chapter 5 verse 6.
Verse 6. And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
When what?
When your obedience is fulfilled.
Start over from the verse 6.
And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience.
See, the Most High is ready to revenge, right? To help us. He's ready to help us, but we have to be obedient. Obedience comes with protection, y'all. He promises us if we are obedient that he will protect his children. He will even prevent us from sinning. He was trying to do it to David. You see it? We have to recognize his voice. So when someone tries to tempt you to sin, we must recognize the other voice that Most High has sent. The angels was created to minister to us, to help us. We have to hear the voice. Yeah? You know it when you're enticed to do wrong. And having a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled, like Job.
Next precept, 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. The book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
So we must be sober, right? Clear thinking, be able to critically think, right? We can't be drunkards or have the mentality of a drunkard. Like the Bible says, they're drunk but not with wine. Right? We must be clear, critical thinkers. Okay? Vigilant in this warfare. Recognizing what we just read. Okay? Because Satan is like a roaring lion seeking us at any weak opportunity. He only comes to us when we're weak. So that means we're in constant surveillance. They're waiting for opportunity. Like when it says raving wolf, like a raving lion, whatever it is, that's that one that's waiting on you, watching you, right? It's like when you watch the Animal Planet channel and that stuff, and you see the lions looking at the whole herd, they're trying to find the weakest one. But when they get them, they get eyes on them, they attack them. And that's how they do us, okay? Revelation chapter 21, verse 7, the last precept. Here's the promise from the Most High.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
What a beautiful promise. Yeah, we don't serve the Most High in vain. Remember that, we don't serve him in vain. If we overcome Satan and his wicked band, we shall inherit all things. And he will be our God, and we'll be his children. Amen.
Amen.
With that concludes the lesson for today. Good.